Now, first of all, this is the topology that you have to understand. We have the router 1, router 2, router 3, we have the switch 3, and so on. Now, based on this question, during your use, the practice, okay, well, I'm going to go for the practice first, your SBA revision here. Now, for your SBA revision, earlier on, I require you to draw the diagram, but now you don't have to do so because I already uploaded the version of the SBA for topology for you. So what you need to do is, all the command inside here is empty. So I want you to practice your typing skills. So what you need to do is go to each of the router here and type all the IP addresses, interface fa00.11.12.13s, and enter all these IP addresses, subnet mask, and so on, and make sure every of this interface you issue the no shut command. Okay, so after the end of the the objective here, for all your router 2, router 3, router 1, ISP, switch 0, blah, blah, and so on, if you already finished doing the configuration, your light should be in the green color. Right now, the router here, all is a red color. Okay, that is the first indicator. You need to make sure that all the interface is up first. Okay. Now, how do you do the configuration? Okay, let's start from the first one. I already revised. I know that some of you is asking me about the configure VTP. Yeah. Now, VTP stands for Virtual Trunking Protocol. Now, in this case here, what is the objective of setting this? Is that I have in my switch 0, set it to the server, and then the client will be a switch 1 and switch 2. Transparent will be switch 3. Now, let's look at your topology. Try to understand first. Okay, this switch 0 is my server. That means if I have the server here, whatever the VLAN I created later on for maybe 10 to 20 VLAN configuration, the switch 2 as a client, we're going to receive it automatically. That means if you have 10 client, they have 10 VLANs, it will receive it in 1 second only if your VTP works successfully. All right, so same thing goes to the switch 1 as well. So the switch 2 and switch 1, please don't configure manually. Okay, every addresses inside there is empty, but it's expecting you to configure this switch 0 with the proper configuration to test whether your VTP is functioning or not. You follow this. Okay, so according to these questions, server is using a switch 0, then client will be a switch 1 and switch 2. And these 3 switches here will be a same domain and same password. So I believe you know that just now I mentioned already, switch 1 and switch 2 is getting the automatically VLANs configuration from the switch 0. Okay, so the transparent will be is standalone. That's why you group them into the domain name, a different domain name, and a different password. Okay, now in order for to make it successful, please make sure, because when you use a real SBA, there will be a score. You can see your score marks and you can determine your answers and the score directly after you complete your SBA. Okay, you will know your course marks directly for your SBA. So your SBA consists of 40%. So this is the SBA domain name. So if let's say the question gives you this SBA like this, okay, we have with the underscore, you have to follow exactly the same also. Okay, uppercase, lowercase, you have to follow. All right, so that's about the first thing you have to understand about the domain name. If one is the SBA revision, you type like this. Another one is capital letter. Now, later, all these function of your VTP fail. So what happens when your VTP fail? You cannot get the score. Your score will not increase. Okay, so please be careful. This is the first thing you have to understand about your VTP revision, which is the domain name and the password. Uppercase, lowercase is very, very important. Okay, so because the score is based on the marking scheme. So marking scheme already set in the questions. Okay, so let's move on to our configuration here. So I'm just going to show you how to set up the configuration on your server. So this is your switch 0. So go to your command line interface, and then just be careful that sometimes you go to the physical, some of the ports is actually already locked. So when you lock, what will happen is that you are requested to do the line console. But anyway, let me just show you first. Now this is the switch 0. You can just go to here, and according to the question, it's required you to set, okay, let me check the question again. I got printed out. This is a server. Now, by default, your question here should be the server. By default, it's already server. So what you need to do is you type the enable, config T, and just for your information, the basic configuration you should able to know also, even though it's not been asked in the SBA revision, but for your real SBA, we require you to have a basic configuration. Now, basic configuration such as hostname, how do you say your password for your enable secret password, line console 0 password, configuration password, all these passwords you need to know, the basic configuration. And how do you disable the IP domain lookup and so on, okay? So there's a basic configuration you need, really need to know, okay? Okay, so let's go and do this. This is the switch one, then you go to config T, and then you are going to type, okay, let's show VTP status first. Do show VTP status. So you will see here by default it's already server. So what you need to do is you have to set the VTP, okay? And then if you forgot the command, you can just say domain. All right, then after that, you can just put a word. Okay, what is a VTP domain name? So it's here is SBA REVISION. Okay, then press enter. Okay, then after that, you set it to VTP password. So the password will be on the SBA 2020. Okay, press enter. Now let me just pause here for a while. Okay, can you just comment whether you can hear me, you can see my screen, whether it's clear or not? Can you just go to the chat box there? Let me see. Is it clear? Okay, so everyone can. So if you have problems, please voice up. Because now I can't hear your voice, I can only hear my own voice. Okay, so it's a VTP password. VTP password. Okay, after that, so this is already done for my switch 0 domain name and password. Okay, I already done. So that's all. So every time, once you have done, please go back to your end, and don't forget to issue the copy run start. Okay, and set your configuration. Then you can just close your switch 0, and then you can repeat for your switch 1. Okay, go to your command line and repeat the same thing as what the question asks. So this is enable config T, VTP domain, then you have SBA revision, okay, REVISION, and then after that you have VTP password. Okay, your password is SBA 2020. All right, done. So this is how you configure for your switch 1. But then you see now I'm confused because I don't have the host name. So you can just name it as a host name, SWITCH. Now remember this host name also require you to have a capital letter, SWITCH1. If you use a lowercase, you can't get the marks increase. So everything followed the question, yeah? Okay, now once you have done, save your configuration, copy, run, start. Okay, done. So that's how you do it. So you repeat until you do for your transparent as well. Okay, just now your VTP server, and then the client you convert it into the VTP client. So don't forget the steps for you to configure the switch 1 just now. You have to go to the switch 1, then VTP mode, then you change it to client mode. Okay, and same thing goes to the transparent as well. Your command should be go to the switch 3, then VTP mode transparent. Okay, then you set it to the domain name password. All right, so that's how you configure your server, client, and transparent. Okay, now let's move on to part 2. Configure the VLAN. Now create, name, and assign VLANs on switch 0 to 3 based on the VLAN on port assignment table. You are not required to assign switch port in switch 0. Now already mentioned to you, don't require anything in the assignment, the port assignment of the switch 0. So what you need to do is for the switch 0 here, because it is a server, And if you look at here, the part 3A, all the ports belongs to VLAN 9, VLAN 10, VLAN 11, and VLAN 12 should be in non-trunking mode. Now, non-trunking mode means that it's an access mode. Now, don't simply go and configure it. Check your what you call that, the IP addresses and the port number to determine what mode is that, yeah? Okay, so here, the switch 0 is asking you to put, we have to settle the switch 0 first because it's a server. So your question A here, it will say FA0/1 until FA0/4 to trend. Restrict the trend to only allow only the VLANs 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 99. Okay, so this is the one that you have to set first. Okay, how are you going to do that? Then you can go back to your switch 0 and configure all the configuration command for your VLAN first. That means for your switch 0 here, you have to configure the VLAN 9, and then the name is purchase, then VLAN 10, the name is sales, VLAN 11, the name is account, all this. Okay, configure first. Now, after that, go back to your configure the interface range of your VLAN to the trunk mode. Okay, so you do this for your switch 0. Okay, only do this for your switch 0. So let's look at it. So let's go back to your switch 0. Okay, and then you go to config tier again. And you can see, okay. After that, you go to the VLAN. Okay, you have a VLAN 9, and then the name is purchase, capital letter, yeah. All right, then just follow. Then after that, you have a VLAN 10, name, sales. Then you have a VLAN 11, name, account. Then you have a VLAN 12, team, server. You have a VLAN 13, name, management, VLAN 99, name, native. Okay, that's all. So show VLAN brief, you will see all these VLAN will come out. All right, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 99. So this is how you configure the first part for a switch 0, right? So because I want to indicate it, so let me just give a host name for my switch 0. I should have a SWITCH0. Okay, so that's about it. And configure the trunk. Because you want it to broadcast to the client, so make sure everyone is the client. So the trend. So interface range FA0/1 until 4. According to the question, switch port mode trend. Straight away, wow. Okay, it will turn up, and then after that, switch port trend allowed. Okay, hold on. Switch port trend allowed. VLANs, because the question is asking you to just allow the VLAN 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 99. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 99. Oops. Switch port trend allowed VLAN 10, 11, 12, 13, 99. Oh, something is wrong here. VLAN 9. Oh, allowed VLAN 9. 10. Oh, okay. So I think it's have to do it one by one. Switch port trend allowed VLAN 9. Okay. Then after that you continue again. Switch port trend allowed VLAN. You can use the arrow key lah. 10, 9, 10, and so on. Oops, allowed 10. Okay, so you continue until the end, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 99. Okay, so that's about how do you configure your switch 0, right? Now, let's go back to your switch 1. Move on to the question. Okay, all the question asks you to do is, you already, okay, all the ports belong to VLAN 9, 10, 11, 12 should be in non-trunking ports. So 9, 10, 11, 12. So 9, 10, 11, 12, this is your switch 0. You are connecting to the 11, which is a PC1. That means your switch 2 is connecting to the access mode. So you have to go to the switch tool there and configure manually interface FA0/6 and make sure you put switch port mod tran. Okay, after configure this, you have to put switch port tran VLAN 11 because you want it to be this mod access connecting to your VLAN 11. Okay, so for switch to communicate with the switch 0, it should be in the tran mode. So interface of the, according to the question just now, all the interface of the switch 0, 1, and 2 for the port FA0/1 until 4. All set to tran, all set to tran. So you repeat the same step for your switch 2, repeat the same step for your switch 1, and so on. Okay, all the FA0/1 until 4 is a tran mode. And you allow the VLAN 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 99. So you follow all this configuration. Now, once you have done, that's all. So you go back to your PC here. Switch 1, interface FA0/5. And then you type switch port mod access. And then switch port access VLAN 11. When you go to the switch 1, FA0/21, and then you type interface, the switch port mod access, switch port access to the VLAN 12. Okay, same goes to the switch 3 here. Okay, switch 3, and also that's all. Okay, all this must be, the one that connecting to the end device should be configured as the access mode. Okay, the rest of it will be in the tran mode. So we have done the A. Now let's go for B. Now, after you have done all these non-trunking access mode and also the tran modes, your PC, if you configure your correct IP addresses, yeah, your PC 0 can pin to PC 1, send VLAN successfully. If fail, something wrong with your, either it's a port problems or you forgot to issue the no shard, or whatever, there's a lot of possibility. Okay, so please make sure you troubleshoot the problems before you move on to part 3. Okay, now I didn't show you the exact one because I haven't really configured my basic IP addresses into my the what you call that, the switch and the router. Okay, I just show you how to configure the basic configuration. Okay, all right, so here for the part 3. Okay, let's go for the inter-VLAN technology. Now, the part 3 is testing you for the inter-VLAN technology, whereby whether you know how to configure the inter-VLAN or not. Okay, so inter-VLAN is very, very straightforward. You can look at the router 3 here. Okay, sorry. According to the question, the router 2 is actually doing the inter-VLAN connectivity. And the router 3 is using the inter-VLAN by using a traditional method. So your router 2 here, let me use my slides to explain your router 2. Okay, this is your router 2. Your router 2 is directly connected to the router 1. Okay, so your inter-VLAN connectivity also connecting to this switch 0. Yeah. Okay, so the question is asking you to configure the inter-VLAN interfaces in here, this port. So your inter-VLAN will happen here, okay, interface FA0/0, but you are not using the main port. So when you look at the addressing table for your router 2, you are using the interface FA0/ let me see, yeah, you are using the interface FA0/0.11, and then your IP address is 172.16.11.1 and 255.255.255.0. That means inside here, physically, I got 1 cable. Logically, I have 3 cables. Okay, one is carry the VLAN 11, another one is carry the VLAN 12, another one is carry the VLAN 13. So I need to configure the sub interfaces in that port for your router 2, and that is called router on a stick. Router on a stick means that you want to let all the connectivity from different VLAN talk to each other, so you do it on one of the cable only. But then inside that cable, they are testing you the knowledge of configuration for a sub interfaces. That is router on a stick inter-VLAN protocol. But for the next part is about the router 3. The question asking you to do traditional method. Now, traditional method means that here, router 3, I want to carry one cable carry VLAN 9, another cable carry VLAN 10, another cable carry VLAN 14. So this is a traditional method. That's why you can see here the line is 3. Okay, so how do you configure router 2 and router 3? Let's move on to your topology. Okay, we go for router 2 first. We are testing our inter-VLAN connectivity. As I mentioned, I just show you the basic configuration. Here, okay, config T, and then let me just rename my host name is router 2. Okay, after that, interface FA0/0. Okay, this is my 0/0. .11. I show you one only, and then the rest you should be able to do already. Now, before you type the IP addresses and subnet masks, you have to put encapsulation.1q. All right, and this one is the number of your VLAN ID. So I carry the VLAN 11. So you have to put encapsulation.1q11. Then after that, you type the IP address. Okay, 172.16.11.1. This is how you configure the sub interfaces. Then you have 255.255.255.0. Okay, don't forget to issue no shutdown. Okay, I have that. So you go for the next one, which is the SAM configuration interface FA0/0 dot, but now is changed it to 12. Okay, and then IP address just now already typed, so you just use the arrow key to help you and change this number from 11 to 12. Okay. All right, so that's it. And then, yeah, something is missing here. Remember just now, before we do this, we have to type something, encapsulation first. Because if you don't have encapsulation for this protocol, it doesn't support your sub interfaces. Okay, so you need it to be encapsulated for the VLAN 12. Then only you are allowed to type the IP addresses. Okay. So you see here, that's all. So same thing goes to your interface FA0/0.13. So you change this to 13, and then after that you go for encapsulation first. And this encapsulation you change it to 13 as well, and then only your IP address. Okay, so these IP addresses, all these were given by the questions 13.1. All right, so that's all. Then after that, just press enter. Okay, so this is for the router 2. Now, how do you check your connectivity is correct? As I mentioned just now, the question asking you to check your inter-VLAN by pinging. Okay, your different PC can able to ping successfully. If no, then you have to troubleshoot. All right, so how do you troubleshoot? Remember, when you deal with the sub interfaces, don't forget to turn on the main port. Okay, even though your sub interfaces is already turned on, but you have to go to the interface of FA0/0. The main port should turn on by issue the no shutdown. Okay, now straight away all have to be up. Okay, so this is how you configure your router 2. Now let's move on to router 3. The router 3 actually is the same. So you can just, it's a normal configuration, nothing much different here. So you can just follow your, the traditional methods for this one. Based on the question, check for your routing protocol for your router 3 table addressing there. Here, just follow everything and type. Okay, FA00172.1 is the same configuration, so you just type. Yeah, so that is about your router 3. Okay, what else? So I have done the router 3 for the traditional method. Then same thing, you go and verify. This is for part 3, and part 4 already done. So this is how, after you done the inter-VLAN, legacy inter-VLAN routing, you go and verify it. So your PC2 can able to pin the default gateway. Your PC3 can pin the default gateway as well. Your PC2 can pin to PC3 and so on. If cannot, you have to troubleshoot. All right, so all these part must successfully first, then only you go and do part by part. Then only you do part 5. Okay, now let's go for part 5. Part 5, you have a switch tree. According to the question, the static secure is being set, which is the FA0/10. And then you have a sticky for your FA0/15 and your maximum violation. The maximum device that detected will be a 3. So you are required to secure the port so that the MAC address of the device is dynamically learned and added to the running configuration. Now, dynamically learn and added to the running configuration. That means it's giving you the hints. Maybe during the real exam, the table don't have, so it's giving you the hints that which type of the secure method that is using, whether it's a static secure sticky or is a what, okay, or maybe it's a dynamically learn and but it's not stick to your or it's a fixed MAC address. So you have to check carefully. All right. So if the question I say, okay, it's dynamically learned and added to the running configuration, in this case, it's require you to have a sticky. But maybe some of you might get a different version of the questions, say that you have to configure manually to capture the MAC address of the PC0R. Then you have to go and check the MAC address for that particular devices. And after that, you type it properly. I mean, you can type the MAC address there. Okay. So that's about the part 5A. How do you check your MAC address for that particular PC? You can just go here, okay, for your PC1. I think maybe during your exam, this thing is actually locked. So what you need to do is go back to here. You have two options to do that now. Can you see the MAC address on the table come out there? FA0 is 0090 at my right hand side. Okay, the MAC address, then you have the Bluetooth, then you have the MAC address of the fast Ethernet 0R. So if the question asking you to configure manually, so this PC MAC address will be 0090 2BC2, oops, 2BC2. You can just move your cursor, then point to your PC1 to determine your MAC address. Okay, another way is you can go to your switch tool here and then you show MAC address table. Okay, go to your command line interface, then you show MAC address table. Okay, you have two ways to check your MAC address. I've done this, and then okay. Okay, the first question: secure the pop so that how do you configure this command? So I just write here, so that you have the correct answers for your revision. Okay, so you can able to secure the POPs. Okay, now we are in the section of the POP security. Now, before you do this, make sure you activate your POP security first, yeah. So according to the question, look at the question, what the question, which port number the question want you to do. Now, if there is no port number being assigned, or maybe the question didn't specifically tell you what is the port number, then you have to look at your topology. But in this case here, I have the question already mentioned is in the FA0/10. Okay, so you go to the interface of FA0/10. Then you have to type switch port pop security. Okay, I just use the shortcut switch port security. Okay, then you have a switch port. Hold on. Then you have a switch port security maximum is 3. And then after that, you have switch port security MAC address is according to here should be sticky lah. Okay, because I want to set a MAC address sticky. All right. So this is to answer the question A. Now to answer the question B, set the violation so that the switch tree will not send syslog message and the port will shut down when a violation occur. So you can put let's say we go for B already. Set the violation so that the switch tree will not send the syslog. The switch tree will not send the syslog message is to test whether you know about the violation or not. Violation, we have 3 types. The first one is protect, the second one is restrict, and the third one is shut down. Okay. So basically, these questions will do something like do not send the syslog message. Okay, so do not send the syslog message. You can do like this. Configure it like switch port security MAC address. Okay, do not say violation. The maximum. Then you have a switch port security. Okay, then after that, violation restrict. So this is not sending the not sending is using protect. Okay, if you send the syslog message, you are using the restrict. Okay, so be careful of this. So switch port security violation protect. Okay, I have done the B. And then number C, how are you going to do that? So number C, my command will be, okay, let me just use this one. Okay, set the port security aging time to 20 minutes. So your command will be switch port security aging time. Should be 1- here. Aging time is equal to, aging time is equal to 20. This is how you do it. And then verify the port security. So you will check. You can show port security, or you can show port security interface FA0/10 or interface FA0/15. Okay, you don't do specifically and check inside there. So according to this question, the question is asking for switch 3 to set FA0/10 to static secure. And for FA0/15 to sticky, and the maximum violation is 3. Okay, so you can just follow the question and do. Then after that, you verify your port security. Okay, how to verify? If I want to check whether my configuration for 15 is correct or not, I show port security interface FA0/15. So make sure you get the answer is configured as a sticky. Okay, so that's about the part 5. All right, so let's move on to part 6. Okay, for the part 6 is configure the SSH. Now this one will just give you the configuration command. Then you can try to practice later on. Now, configure the SSH to secure the remote access with the following setting. First, configure domain name as the SBA revision1.pka. Again, this is a marking scheme, so make sure you follow exactly the uppercase, lowercase, yeah? All right, so I will have, what is actually the command for you to do that? Oh no, okay, this is, okay, I'm going to use these colors. Okay, configure the domain name. So this is how you do. IP, you need to set the SSH to the console, configure a domain name first, yeah? So how do you set your domain name as a SBA1? Okay, SBA1. You are configuring the SBA1. So your console port, how do you do this question? So you can do IP domain dash name, then only followed by SBA revision1.pka. All right, so that's your question to answer number 1A. After that, number 1B is asking you to key in the secure encryption with the generate the RSA, blah, 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 and so on. So this one you have to go to the config T. Just now also have to go to config T. Same thing. Whatever we configure here, we have to go to the config T. So this command is crypto. Because you want to encrypt the password. So you put crypto key generate RSA into your switch. Some question asking me this configuration is configured at where? You can configure it at your any switch, either you switch 0, switch 1, switch 2. But maybe if let's say during the SBA the question didn't ask, then you can just pick up one of the switch and configure it. But I think this will very rare happen. The question will surely ask you to configure which switch. But in this revision, you can just put any of the switch, just pick up one and just test your knowledge about this. Okay, crypto generate RSA, you have to press enter first. And then the topology will prompt out you with something by default, and then it will ask you what is the length of the bits that you would like to generate. So you just enter 1024. Okay, and then you just press enter. That's all. That is about the crypto key generate RSA. Okay, if you want to see the live one, let me just show you the topology. And enable config T. Okay, then after that you can just go to IP. Just now is an IP domain name. Okay, SBA revision.pka, and then you put crypto key generate RSA. Here press enter. Oh, my spelling. Now there's a good thing about it. I have a truncated error, means that my spelling is wrong. Okay, How many bits in the modulus? So according to the question is 1024. So look at the question carefully. Some of the question might ask you for 512, some might be 1024 and so on. So just do that, and this is how you generate the 1024. Okay, next. We go for next. Create an admin user with a privilege level of 15 and secret password is Cisco. So what is the command to do this? You can just go for username. Oops. Username admin, because the question is say admin, yeah. Secret Cisco, like that. Okay. Then after that, use the version 2 for SSH. So use the version 2 as SSH. You should have IP. So this one is to convert using the SSH version 2. So you can just put IP SSH version 2. Okay, I have done. And then set the number of authentication entries to 4 and the time slot interval to 111. So this one, you can go for IP SSH authentication retries 4. And then you have to put IP SSH timeout 11. No, 111. Okay, so that's about the question F. Now, configure the BTP line to support 5 users. The line only accept SSH connection and using the login local. Oh, okay. In order to answer this thing, let's go to our switch. You can see here by default, line VDY04. That means it's allow how many devices? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 devices. If you allow the 5 devices, then you can configure line VDY04. But then if you allow the line, the 6 devices, okay, let's try. You can configure line, okay, VDY06, okay, sorry, 05. This one is 04, now it's 05. 05 means you have 6 devices at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You allow 6 devices to log in telnet remotely to your, SSH to your switch 0. That is the meaning of line VDY. You allow how many users. So let's say now I have 5 users. So I can configure 0, space, and 4. So, but then if you get, let's say you get 6 users, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get 5. So this is how you configure it. Just put the line VDY05, and then according to the question, just make it as a login locally. And when you log in locally, you transport input SSH. Okay, transport input SSH. Okay, I have done. Then check your configuration, short run. Just now I put the interface FA line VDY05. Remember? This one will come out if the question asking you for the 6 users. But if the question asking you for the 5 users, so you should configure line VDY04. Is that clear? Okay, I repeat that. 5 user means that I allow line VDY0, line VDY1, line VDY2, 3, and 4 is a 5 user. If you have a 6 user, you will configure line VDY0 and 5, okay, which is to get the 6 user. If you have a 16 user, that means you have to put line VDY0 and 16. 0 and 15, so you will get 16 users. Okay, you counted 0 as one of the device. Then you type the send command, login local, transport input SSH. So look at the question carefully. Maybe some of you are getting 5 users, some of you will get 10 users, some of you will get 7. Okay, who knows? So this is how you do it. Okay. All right, so let's go for the last part. No, it's not the last part. It's the second last. Configure OSPF. The process ID is 10. Router ID for each router will be, okay, let me just stop here. All right, so let's go for here. If I want to configure the OSPF for each of the router, assuming that I'm going to configure the router 1, and I go to the router 1, I type the config T, So after I type the config T, this is how I'm going to configure all these commands, right? So, oh, sorry. Let me use the red color to identify. Okay, you have router OS. You have router OSPF. Process ID will be after this. This 10 is a process ID. Be careful, some of you might get a different number. Some of you may be 20, some of you may be 3, some of you may be 1. Okay, so you just look at your question carefully. Because if you type wrongly, all the answers cannot get the score, yeah? Okay, router OSPF 10, then you press enter. And then router ID. At the router ID, if this is the router 1, so you have 4.4.4.4. If this is a router 2, then you go and repeat again, router OSPF 10, router ID 5.5.5.5, and so on. Okay, so this is how you answer these 2 questions. This is for each of the router. So you repeat for this question, yeah? Okay. After that, as I mentioned, you go configure the connected networks addresses for the router 2, router 3, and you need to be aware of which network you should advertise. This one is actually a big hint for you. Okay, this router 1, 2, and 3. We go for slides. Which network you should advertise, which network you shouldn't advertise. So let's say I am in this slides here. Focus on the router 1 first. Okay, router 1 have the network directly connected networks to 172.168.14.132. Okay, router 1 is connecting to this network. Router 1 is connecting to this directly network. Okay, 3 networks directly connected. So when router 1 by right, router 1 want to advertise the OSPF network, you should advertise the directly connected network and then advertise it to other router every few seconds so that the other router will know that, oh, which network is actually connecting to the router 1. But now the problem is, if you are getting the topology, which is ISP, stand for Internet Service Provider. Now, Internet Service Provider is an outside network, is an outsiders already. So you are not allowed to share your routing information protocol outside to the outside people. Okay? In terms of security issue, you are not allowed to share your network to outside people, right? Okay, this one you understand, huh? So if this is labeled as an internet service provider, you are not allowed to do this, okay, to advertise this network. So when you configure the router 1 later on, you have to go to the router OSPF, and then your network, you have to type network 172.168. Okay, let's say I want to configure this network. So I have to type network 172.168.14.132. And then this is the /30. /30 means that your wildcard mask is 3. Now, how I know? 30 means that you have 31s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when you convert to the decimal, you will get 255.255.255.252. All right, but sorry, 252. So this is your subnet mask. But how do you get the wildcard mask? Is that if you watch my video that I upload in the YouTube, yeah, you have to use the numbers, full number 255.255.255.255. You minus this, then you will get the answer is 255 minus 255, you get 0. 255 minus 255, you get 0. 255 minus 0. 255 minus 252, you get 3. So when you broadcast this network, you have to type network 172.168.14.132, and then your wildcard mask is 0.0.0.3, and your area is 0 because you are using the single area according to the question. Okay, so this is how you type a command for your first network. Okay, same thing goes to the second network. You type network, you need to issue the command at network 172.168.14.128, and then 0.0.0.3, and then area 0, the whole line. Okay, then you press enter. That's all. So that's how you configure at your router 1 side. Okay, never ever configure this thing. If you configure this one, we will go, even though you get 100, we go and check manually if got this configuration network come out straight away -5 marks. Okay, because it's you bring a vulnerability to your networks. Okay, it's a very huge security attack. You advertise network every few seconds because you are using a dynamic routing protocol for OSPF. So you are not allowed to advertise your network to the outsiders. Okay, that's about the router 1. Now, when it goes to the router 2, how you write the command for the router 2? This one, router 2, a bit tricky because the router 2 here, you are actually connecting to this network. You are connecting to this network. So by right, when you are in the router 2, you configure network for this one, and this one is not provided, right? So when it's not provided, how do you check what is this network address? So it's testing you. Go back to your router 2. Check the router 2 from the addressing table. Here you are. So the addressing table for the router 2, I think it's up here. Now, just now is connecting to router 2. So you have router 2 here. You got 0. Got so many. You got network for this one. You got network for this one. You got network for this one. Okay. Remember, how are we going to identify the network address? Now, according to the router 2 here, let me just highlight these 3 paths here. This is all the IP addresses, but it's connecting to the main interface, which is FA0/0 according to your topology. So inside here got sub-interfaces. Now, this sub-interface is also your network, because one line here you carry VLAN 11, another line you carry network 12. Another one you carry network 13. So what you need to do is you have to go and advertise the network address. But the addressing table given here is the IP address, right? IP address. So how are you going to do the network address? I hope you already learned this. Remember, we do the ANDing operation to determine your network address. That means you use the IP addresses, okay? And the subnet mask you convert to the binary, okay? And the subnet mask you convert to the binary. You do the ANDing operation, then you convert back to the decimal. At the end, your answer should be, okay, this one, the network address. You should be 172.168.11.0. That is your network address. Now, when you do the ANDing operation for this and this, okay, you do the ANDing operation, you convert to binary, and do the ANDing operation. If you're not sure, you can watch my video, my lecture video in my YouTube. So the answers here will get 172.168.12.0. Okay, and here also the same, 172.168.13.0. So this is for your network address. So when you write the answers, okay, let me just continue here. You can write network, then you write 172.16.11.0. And then you have, when you configure the OSPF is a wildcard mask, so you put 0.0.0.255 because this is, subnet mask is 255, it's the inverse of your wildcard mask. Wildcard mask is the inverse of your subnet mask. Okay, so that's all. And then after that, you put area 0. This is how you broadcast your VLAN 11 by using this command. Yeah, so don't forget to put router ID, router OSPF. According to the question just now, it's 10. Then you have a router ID. Then maybe this is 5.5.5.5. Then you continue. Okay, Control C. You continue the second, continue the third. Okay, let me just show you how to edit. So I'm going to advertise this 12. So I just change this to 12. And then the rest is all the same. And then this one also the 313. So you just change it to 13. That's all. I already done the configuration for my router 2 for these parts. This part. Okay. The configuration that connect to here. And this one very straightforward. Just put the word network 172.168.14.132, 0.0.0.3, and area 0. Okay, so when you do this, you already configured the router 2. Now, same thing goes for the router 3. You are allowed to broadcast your network for the router 3. So router 3 got a lot. Yeah, I think total would be 4. So you broadcast the 4 network because here is the traditional. Okay, we'll have 3 networks, which is the 172.168.9.0, 10.0, 14.0, okay, including this one. So that is about the router tree. Okay, so this is your OSPF. Once done, is successfully, okay, all the PC can pin to each other already. Okay, except for PC4 because we haven't solved the last parts. Okay, so that's about the OSPF. Where is it? So you can verify the command. Verify what you're setting by or every of the part they will ask you to do the checking. So you can see PC0 should be able to ping server 0, PC2, PC3 successfully. If not, check your configuration. So you troubleshoot if PC0 cannot ping to server 0, PC2, and PC3. So this is all from different VLAN. So if you can't ping, okay, check what's the problems. Okay, last parts, configure static route. Okay, this one is very, very tricky. Calculate the summary route. Now, if you want to measure this, go again for my YouTube video, chapter 6, auto summarization. Yeah, okay, this is how you calculate the summary route. Before that, let me just do a very quick, a revision. What is the summary route? Now, how do you know that that network can able to summarize it? Okay, first condition, it must be contiguous network. Second condition, the exit interface are the same. Okay, they route to the same exit interface. Now, with these 2 conditions fulfilled, you can summary that routes together to form one statement. So maybe you have multiple path comes to that interface, you know, and you want to do the summary. You have maybe 4 or until 10 networks you come to your router, and then you want to summarize it. You have 10 statements of the router, and you want to summarize it into one network only. Then in this case, you do the summary routes. The reason is because you want to save your routing tables, and of course, when you have reduced your routing tables in terms of resources, your speed to process your network will be much more faster. Okay, so that is the reason why. So that is the reason why you need to do the summary. Okay. All right. Now, how to do the summary? Configure a summary by using the next hop IP addresses on ISP to reach all the networks in a company. Use the summary route calculated in the step 1A. So you have to calculate first. Okay, let's do it together. What is our result for that? So I am in the router ISP here. Okay, according to the question just now, configure it in the ISP. Yeah. So I assume that there is a network comes to. Before that, how do you know that which network and network? You have to make sure that you know how to draw a broadcast domain. Okay, now this one a bit special. The broadcast domain, you have to remember you are dealing with the virtual network. Yeah, virtual. So one VLAN will form one virtual broadcast. Okay, second VLAN will form another virtual broadcast network. Okay. That is a different thing. Like it's different totally from your midterm test. Your midterm test is asking broadcast without the VLAN, but in this topology, the VLAN is existing. Okay, so please remember that you are dealing with a virtual LAN. Okay. Now, if I want to draw the whole broadcast domain, this is how it works. You can just draw this one here. This one is one. This one is one. And just now here got 3. Carry, because it's a router on the stick, 3 VLAN inside here. And here got 3. Okay. And here got 1. Here got 1. Here got 1. Hey, sorry. I make a mistake already. Correct. Sorry. It's a correct one. Yeah. Because I'm dealing with a virtual. So here should be 1. Okay. And then this is VLAN 11. So this is one VLAN, and this one is VLAN 12. So okay. So once you have done this, there's another one, VLAN 13. So how do I know? I just use this table lah. Okay. So you write all these VLAN. 172.168.11.0, 12.0, 13.0, 14.132, 14.128, then 9, 10, 14, all these arranged in the sequence order. And this one don't advertise because this is 209. Remember just now the condition is all must be contiguous. Contiguous means you arrange it, you should get 172.16.9.0 first, and after that you arrange it to 10.0, then after that for 11.0, 12.0, 13.0, 14.0, then after that 14.132. Okay, this is all your network available. Okay, then you double check the network inside here. If it is the same as here, then it should be no problems. If got extra, then you write down again. You add until you get a list, and then you do a summarization. So when you do the summarization, I go explain to you what is the step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 means list down your network. Okay. Step 2, convert into the binary. Okay, for the summary that is that you want to do the calculation. And step 3, do the matching bits. Which one is the different? Okay, then you do the matching. So at the end, you will get one answer only, and then you convert it into the decimal. So if you are not sure, you have to do a lot of practice for this summary in the summary video. Okay, so I assume that you know this part. You do all this summarization. You do all this summarization, then you will get the answers, one answer to configure. And then the question say, okay, configure a summary route by using a next hop IP addresses on ISP to reach all networks in a company. So ISP go to the company. That means your ISP network is here. Okay, your ISP network is here. You are using one line only to reach to all this network. Okay, all this network, you are using one line only. I'm coming from the ISP here. I want to go to all this network. Okay, just now all this network. So I use one summary route only to do that. If this answer correct, your marks will be increased a lot. Okay, so your summarization knowledge is there. Okay, so how do you write? So from the ISP, of course, inside the ISP you type IP route. Okay, remember just now your answer after you do the summarization. So let's say you have 172.16. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then you have a wildcard mask. Summarization is using the standard mask. So you see what is your prefix. After you count, let's say your prefix is /24 lah. So here will be 255. And then the last value here, the question say next hop. So next hop means you are in the router here. Router want to go hop to this interface in this router. So you hop to S0/1/0. So your answer is S0/1/1/0. That is your next hop IP addresses. Sorry, not this one. It's the next hop IP addresses of S0/1/0. That means you go to your table addressing of router 1, S0/1/0. Check your IP addresses. Okay, router 1. So you go to the router 1 S0/1/0 and check your IP addresses. Then you continue your statement here. Okay, you can type this configure. All right. So where is the summary route? So after that, you can type IP route. Your answer here. Then your answer for 255.255.something. And then here will be a S0/0. So you have to look at your ISP S010. Let me check for you. ISP 010 is 209.10.20.10. 209.10.20.10. This is your next hop IP. Next hop IP of router 1 S010. So you look at the router 1 S010, 209.10.20.9. Sorry, 9. Okay, this is your next hop IP. You point to your router 1 and that interface of S0/1/0. Okay, so this is your answer. So you double check and check your answers whether it's correct or not. Okay, so that's about the 9. So configure a summary route by using the next hop IP addresses. You configure When you do this, this line, IP route, blah, blah, you configure it at your ISP. Okay. All right. So I have done the step 2. Then we go on to step 3. Now, step 3, very easy. Configure a directly attached default route in the company network, company edge router to the remote network. Use the OSPF to redistribute the default route. Now, this one is the one that you type the default route is very simple. You have default route, IP route 0.0.0.0.0.0, and then the question say what? Configure a directly attached default route. Okay, directly attached default route, you should have exit interface, right? Directly attached default route is exit interface. So go and find out what is the exit interface of this edge router. This one a bit tricky. Let's go back to our diagram. What is the meaning of edge router? Okay, come back to this diagram. If you still remember, the default static route will only configure when you are connecting to your ISP. When that router is the stub router or the stub network that connect to your ISP. So in this case, who is the stub router to the ISP? I believe you have the answers already. So it should be router 1. Because router 1 is the only router that connect to your ISP. And this ISP is the outsiders. Okay, so in order for all these packet PC1, PC0, server 0, PC2, blah, blah, and so on, reach to the internet. Internet ISP is an internet service provider. You reach your internet, right? So you have to go to the router 1 edge router here to allow all these PC to access to the internet. So with just one word, which is IP route 0.0.0.0, and then your subnet mask also 0.0.0.0, and don't forget the question said directly static. So it's S0/1/0, your exit interface, yeah? Okay, then that's all. And then the next question is asking you, it would like to propagate the information, okay? Correctly, the OSPF had to distribute the default route. Once you have the default route, not enough, you have to distribute your default route. So in this case, don't forget to issue default information originate. Okay, that's all, default information originate. So I have done my revision. So that's about the SBA revision.